Welcome to our deep dive. We'll be exploring what empowered living really means.
Yeah. Today we'll be taking a close look at this document. It's called Empowered Living, a Modern Woman's Guide to Independence and Fulfillment.
That's right. And, it's not just about breaking those glass ceilings.
Yeah.
This deep dive is really about figuring out how an empowered life can, actually look and feel for you.
It really is. And this document, it says that empowerment isn't some destination. It's more of a process of constant growth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about realizing that you have this power within you
Yeah.
and using it to create a life that aligns with your values and what you want to achieve.
I really like how that takes the pressure off of having to be empowered.
Yeah.
It's more about becoming more empowered as you go through life, but
Exactly.
where do we even begin?
Well,
What are the steps we need to take to build that kind of life?
Well, the document really focuses on building strong self-confidence. It argues that confidence is like the base for everything else.
That makes sense. You can't go out and change the world if you don't believe in yourself, right?
Exactly.
So how do we get that super strong confidence? Is there some sort of secret formula?
If only. I wish there was a magic potion for that, but there isn't.
Okay.
But this document suggests a really interesting exercise, imagine yourself applying for your dream job.
Okay.
What would your strengths be? And how would you turn those things you see as weaknesses into opportunities to learn and grow?
That's a really cool tip. It's like taking all your strengths and weaknesses
Yeah,
and using them to make yourself even stronger.
exactly.
But you're creating your own brand of confidence.
Exactly. And, the document's really upfront about the challenges women face in the workplace,
Okay.
particularly the stereotypes, like those gender stereotypes.
Yeah, those are definitely still around.
And biases, yep,
Yeah.
they're still there.
Okay.
But the thing is, we're not going to just focus on the negative here. This deep dive
Right.
is about finding ways to overcome these obstacles.
Absolutely. We need to be proactive.
Yeah, and that's where self-advocacy comes in. It encourages women to be active in their careers, speak up for themselves,
Yeah.
negotiate for what they deserve, push for change within their companies.
It's about knowing that we have a right to be heard and to have equal opportunities.
Yes, and what's interesting is the document doesn't just say this is about fairness.
Yeah.
It actually argues that organizations do better when they focus on diversity and inclusion.
Okay.
It leads to better decisions, more innovation, and in the end, a more successful company.
So it's a win-win situation. Strong women make strong teams.
Exactly.
But empowerment is about more than just climbing that corporate ladder.
Absolutely.
It's also about taking charge of our finances, right?
Yes. Financial independence is a big part of empowered living. The document really stresses this,
Okay.
When women are financially secure, they can make choices that match their values and their goals.
It's about having that freedom, not being held back by money worries.
Exactly. But let's be honest, finances can be really overwhelming,
Oh, yeah.
especially if you don't come from a finance background or you're not familiar with investing.
Exactly.
But the document acknowledges that women do face unique challenges when it comes to investing, things like the gender pay gap or having lower earnings on average, and even just having longer lifespans.
It's true.
These factors make it crucial for women to be smart and proactive with their money.
Okay, so it's not just about, budgeting or saving money.
No.
It's about understanding these bigger issues that can impact women's financial well-being.
Absolutely.
So what are some real steps we can take to close that gap and achieve financial freedom?
Well, the document emphasizes starting early, even with small amounts.
Okay.
It breaks down complicated financial concepts into simpler language and offers tips on budgeting, saving, and investing wisely.
Yeah.
It even suggests finding financial advisors who specialize in working with women.
That sounds great. It's about taking control of your finances instead of the other way around.
Right. Exactly. But true empowerment goes beyond external achievements like career or money.
Right.
It's also about taking care of ourselves and our well-being.
Absolutely. We can't forget about that.
Yeah, and that's where self-care comes in.
Okay.
It's not just about bubble baths and face masks, though those are nice.
Oh, they're definitely nice.
It's about recognizing that you can't give your best when you're running on empty.
Yes. You have to take care of your own needs first.
Exactly.
But there's this idea out there that self-care is selfish, especially for women who are always expected to put others first.
Oh, I know.
So how do we change that mindset and start prioritizing self-care without feeling guilty?
The document challenges that idea directly. It says that self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for empowerment.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that you can't take care of others or make a difference if you're burnt out yourself.
So how do we actually make self-care a part of our lives without feeling like we're letting people down.
Well, the document suggests practical ways to incorporate self-care into your day. It talks about mindfulness, paying attention to your thoughts and feelings without judging them.
Okay.
It emphasizes movement, like a brisk walk, yoga, even dancing in your living room.
Yeah.
And it stresses setting boundaries, learning to say no, and protecting your time.
Those are great tips. But I think what's really important is that the document reframes self-care as something empowering. It's
Yes.
not about being selfish. It's about taking care of yourself.
Exactly. It's about choosing to invest in your own well-being so you can be your best self in everything you do.
I love that.
Yeah.
But self-care isn't just about pampering ourselves. It's also about having healthy relationships with other people.
Absolutely. The document really emphasizes surrounding yourself with people who support you and help you grow. It talks about communication, setting boundaries, and spotting red flags in relationships that might be holding you back.
Yeah, because sometimes our relationships, even good ones, can become draining if we don't set boundaries
That's right.
or if we're not speaking up for what we need.
Exactly. And the document reminds us that it's okay to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you, whether it's romantic relationships, friendships, or even family.
It's a hard thing to do,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's necessary for our own well-being.
It is. It's about choosing healthy and supportive connections.
I see. So we've talked about self-confidence, career, finances, self-care, and healthy relationships. Are you starting to see how all these things connect to create that bigger picture of empowered living?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a puzzle, all these pieces fitting together.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore. Welcome back to our deep dive into empowered living. I'm noticing how all these parts of empowerment are really connected.
It's true, like building on each other.
Yeah, like one big, beautiful symphony.
A symphony, yes.
Okay, so we've talked about self-confidence, career, finances, self-care, and relationships. But now I think it's time to talk about leadership. What does leadership look like from the perspective of this document?
Well, the document says leadership isn't about having a fancy title.
Okay.
It's about motivating and influencing people, no matter what your position is.
I like that. So anyone can be a leader,
Exactly.
whether it's at work, in their community, even at home.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And the document highlights some important qualities of good leadership.
Okay, like what?
One is active listening. Really listening to and respecting different viewpoints.
Oh, that's so important.
It is. You can't be a good leader if you don't understand the people you're leading.
But that's hard sometimes, you know,
It can be.
with so many distractions and everyone talking at once.
It does take practice.
Yeah.
Being present, putting your phone away,
Right.
making eye contact, asking questions to make sure you understand.
Yeah.
It's about being fully engaged.
Okay, what else did the document say?
Well, it also talks about setting a clear vision for yourself and the people you're leading. You have to express your goals with passion so that others feel inspired to follow.
So it's like painting a picture of the future and inviting everyone to join you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but what about when things get tough? You know, when you face setbacks or resistance?
All right. Leadership isn't always easy,
No.
but the document says it's about being resilient, bouncing back from challenges.
Oh,
It even tells a story about a woman who overcame so many obstacles to become a CEO.
wow.
She talks about perseverance, finding mentors, and believing in yourself even when others doubt you.
That's inspiring. It's like you don't have to be perfect, you just have to keep going.
Exactly.
You know, this deep dive wouldn't be complete without talking about advocacy and making a difference in the world.
Absolutely. True empowerment isn't just about personal success. It's about making the world a better place.
Yes, it's about recognizing that we're all connected and we should help each other.
Exactly.
But sometimes it feels overwhelming, like where do you even begin?
I know, but the document reminds us that even small actions can make a big difference.
Okay, so like what are some small things we can do?
Well, it's about those little acts of courage, like speaking up against injustice or challenging language that's biased,
Yeah.
supporting businesses that share your values.
Okay, so it's about being an ally, a mentor, speaking up for those who can't.
Yes. And you don't have to be a perfect activist to make a difference.
Right. Progress over perfection.
Exactly.
It's about doing what you can with what you have.
Yes. And advocacy can take many forms. It's not just about protests or donations.
Okay, so what else can we do?
Well, you can have those difficult conversations with friends and family,
Right?
educate yourself about important issues,
Yeah.
use your platform, however big or small, to amplify the voices of those who need to be heard.
So whether you're a CEO, a stay-at-home parent, a student, whoever you are, you can make a difference.
Absolutely. That's the amazing thing about empowered living. It's for everyone.
I like that.
It doesn't matter your age, job, or background.
Right. It's about embracing your own power and using it for good.
Exactly. But, embracing our power can be challenging.
All right, yeah.
It's hard to unlearn old habits, challenge those beliefs that hold us back, and step outside our comfort zones.
That's where lifelong learning comes in, right?
Yes. Lifelong learning is key.
But when I hear lifelong learning, I think of boring textbooks and lectures.
I know, me too. But this document has a different take on it.
Yeah.
It sees lifelong learning as an adventure, a journey of growth and discovery.
Like always being curious and exploring new things.
Yes. And challenging yourself to learn and grow no matter your age.
So approaching life with a sense of wonder, always willing to learn.
Exactly. And it's not just about gaining knowledge or skills.
Okay, what else is it about?
It's about developing a growth mindset, believing that you can always learn and improve.
Like seeing challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons,
Exactly. And recognizing that learning can happen anywhere, anytime.
not just in a classroom.
Right. You can learn from books, podcasts, talking to interesting people. The possibilities are endless. The document even encourages us to try new things, even if they seem scary.
Step outside that comfort zone.
Yes, it tells a story about a woman who decided to try rock climbing in her 50s.
Wow, rock climbing in her 50s. That's amazing.
Right. It was something she was always curious about, but never thought she could do.
I bet it was a challenge.
It was. It challenged her physically and mentally and showed her she's capable of more than she realized.
That's so cool. It's never too late to learn something new or pursue a passion.
Exactly. That's what lifelong learning is all about. Staying curious, engaged, and never losing that sense of wonder.
I love it. So leadership, advocacy, lifelong learning.
Yeah.
Are you seeing how these all fit into the bigger picture of empowered living?
Absolutely, like threads weaving together to make a tapestry.
A beautiful tapestry, yeah.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about advocacy and making a difference in the world.
Oh, that's so important. Empowered living isn't just about individual success, it's about collective liberation.
Yes, it's about recognizing we're all connected and we should help each other.
And sometimes it feels overwhelming. Where do you even begin?
Right.
But remember, even small actions can have a ripple effect.
So what are some small things we can do?
It's about those everyday acts of courage, speaking up against injustice, challenging biased language, supporting organizations doing good work.
Okay, so it's about being an ally, a mentor, speaking up for those who can't.
Yes. And you don't have to be a perfect activist to make a difference.
Right, progress over perfection.
Exactly. Just do what you can with what you have.
And advocacy can take many forms, not just protests or donations.
Right. It can be having those tough conversations with family and friends, educating yourself on issues,
Sure.
using your platform, no matter how small, to amplify the voices of those who need to be heard.
So whether you're a CEO, a stay-at-home parent, a student, anyone can make a difference.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of empowered living. It's for everyone.
I love that.
It's about embracing your power and using it for good.
And thinking about the kind of world we want to leave for future generations.
Yes. What is our legacy? We stand on the shoulders of those who fought for us.
Right.
It's our turn to continue that fight, to make the world a more just and equitable place.
For all women and for everyone.
Exactly. When women are empowered, everyone benefits.
I love that. We've covered a lot in this deep dive, but it feels like we're just scratching the surface.
There's always more to explore.
What other things stood out to you from this document? Welcome back to our final part of this deep dive into empowered living. We've covered so much, from building self-confidence to advocating for change. It's been amazing.
It really has. We've explored how leadership, lifelong learning, and finding that balance can really help us feel empowered.
Absolutely. But as we wrap up, I'm curious to know what really resonated with you. What were some of the key takeaways that stood out from this document?
One thing that really struck me was the focus on self-compassion.
Self-compassion. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's like treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a close friend.
Oh, that's so important. Because sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves.
Exactly. We tend to be our own worst critics. The document reminds us that it's okay to make mistakes. We're all human.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
We're not. And we deserve compassion, even when we mess up.
That's a good point,
Yeah.
especially in a world that's obsessed with perfection.
It is, self-compassion isn't about lowering our standards.
Okay,
It's about creating a more supportive space for ourselves to grow and thrive without all that self-judgment.
I see. So how do we practice self-compassion?
The document suggests paying attention to how we talk to ourselves, especially when we face challenges or make mistakes.
It's like that saying, if you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself.
Exactly. And it also talks about the power of gratitude. Focusing on the good things, even small ones, can help us be kinder to ourselves.
It's about acknowledging our accomplishments, appreciating the journey, even the tough parts.
Right, and taking care of ourselves physically, too. Getting enough sleep, eating well, and moving our bodies.
Because when we feel good physically, it helps us handle emotional challenges too, right?
Exactly. It's about nurturing our whole selves.
Yeah.
Mind, body, and spirit.
But self-compassion isn't a one-time thing, is it?
No, it's an ongoing practice, a commitment to being kind to ourselves.
Like a daily practice.
Yeah, exactly. We're always a work in progress, and that's okay.
That's reassuring. It's about being patient with ourselves and celebrating our progress.
Yes. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's fitting to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay, I love a good thought-provoking question.
What's one small act of empowerment you can commit to today?
That's a great question. It could be anything, right?
Absolutely. It could be setting a boundary with a colleague, taking a few minutes to meditate, reaching out to a mentor.
Or supporting a woman-owned business.
Yes. It's about taking action, even a small step, and feeling the power that comes from making a conscious choice.
Because that's what empowered living is all about, making choices that align with your values and your vision.
It's about knowing your worth and using your voice and actions to create a life you love.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've gained some valuable insights.
And practical tools to help you on your own journey of empowerment.
Remember, you are powerful, capable, and worthy of creating a life that lights you up.
Absolutely.
So go out there and make it happen. Until next time, keep shining bright.